There were a lot of okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to this session of Smart Contract Gladiator, which we are going to build a lot of stuff, and we will address a lot of ongoing problems, not just to a blockchain or crypto or even computer space, but even to our real world day-to-day jobs and or interaction with humanity, So in this system, in this session, for now, we are now building a system of a smart contract. And this system is going to allow us to bring different smart contract, which namely we call them Gladiator, which other people can write those smart contract, but sure, we will try it by ourselves as well. And that Gladiator smart contract, which are code only, will play inside a transaction, or aka the arena, or so-called great arena. And then we will try to implement different voting system or electoral system, which these are some examples that we can work on, namely tug of war, two-round system, first past the post, party list proportional representation, and of course, SIP 6949 and quadratic voting. And of course, there are many other voting systems. But the thing is that by creating this system of a smart contract, we are going to build that template, that freedom to adopt different voting systems. So if we don't know, of course we don't know, but some people, maybe they are sure about one electoral system or one voting system is best system out there, and we need to implement it on governance and on-chain system, and making a government based on that. Well, let's build it. Let's try it out. And for the moment, we are going to build a system which is well known in cybersecurity and in an organization called role-based access control system, which I talk about it several times in the past week, and sure you guys can watch. I don't want to not only bore you, but I don't want to waste you, and we want to go forward toward the building. So although if you have a question, please ask, no problem. I will try my best to answer your question. So the system that right now you are seeing is built with different shape, and in that shape, just as a guide, this shape, which looks like a paper, let's think about it as a smart contract. This hexagon, think it as a wallet, public hash entities. And these two are, of course, playing an important role, especially UTXO model. And this cylinder, which normally we will use it as a database, will be datum. And this rectangle with two straight where the horizontal line will be EUTXO or UTXO, and this just a square, if we consider it a square, will be the description. So sorry, by the way, I suspect to have COVID, so if you hear my coughing or something, I'm sorry for that.
Oh,
just
brother.
bear with me.
Okay.
No, it's okay, fine. For an unvaccinated guy, it's no problem.
Glad you have a sense of humor about even this, man. I don't know how you do it.
So let's wrap up something that we talked about yesterday, and we will go through it today as well, and we go build upon it. Yesterday, we talked about three concepts, which will be very crucial to our governance, to this RNA system. And one of the first thing that let us kind of start from the first, and then sure we are going to answer a question. The first thing that we talk and we talk and it was really interesting was read-only UTXO, which you can see it on Cardano CLI. Yeah, if you there is a switch called read-only TX in reference, which if you put YUM UTXO inside that, it will go inside this list inside a script context. So you can access that list as a TX info reference input. So this reference input, their difference with input is it just work as a witness. It means the transaction, a smart contract, whatever happening inside that transaction will not spend it, will not consume it, will not update it, will not destroy it, and will not create it. So it would be absolutely intact. That's a protocol that was implemented after Vasil Hartford. And the help of this UTXO is we can put some information, namely data, in this cylinder, that these smart contract can use them, and they can even talk to each other based on the data of that UTXO. Because you maybe already know that the smart contract UTXO model is quite different than Aqua model. Although both of them, they claim to be as smart, but of course they're not as smart. They're a bunch of dumb code. Actually, your phone or even the Zoom application you are seeing is much, much sophisticated and smarter than the so-called smart contract. But the thing is, these codes inside UTXO do not talk to each other even. So it means that inside the account model like Ethereum, you can call a function of another contract. So the contract concept in Ethereum is quite different. Here, the contract is kind of acting as the wallet, but it's different. It's a programmatically wallet, and we need to specify some condition and so on. So they are kind of passive. It's like how your wallet is active. If you do not do something to your wallet, it will stay as that outside must trigger that wallet. Like you must spend, you need to receive something. So this smart contract inside UTXO needs to talk to each other. And how do we do that? First, we have this transaction, which now is called RNA. And then we will send some data, which we can be sure that it will not be spent, it will not get updated, nothing will happen to it. And these smart contract can use those information to decide what's going on, what's going to happen inside that transaction, namely verification. So one of the things that I'm going, by the way, to talk about yesterday, but I want to talk about that. Sorry, James, I just saw your message, and James is saying that, yeah, I hope, yeah, I mean, because the word of the polluters, as I said it in the channel, is development is evolving. One of the most things that we need to think about, we need to think beyond polluters in order to learn even polluters. The very basic stuff about polluters, we need to think about this higher order of a smart contract, because we are going to see Marlowe in coming weeks. I mean, I heard this happen. We have other languages like Aiken or Ogmios, or I think I spell it correctly. So we have these different languages. Some of them are easy, some of them are hard, some of them are like very simple. It's not that much powerful. But the whole idea is eventually you guys, each and individual, I can guarantee you, maybe even next year, I can bet on this, that each and every individual currently right now Doesn't matter, you're a developer, you know about developing, whatever. You can write a smart contract. So important things right now is how we can prepare to think logically, to think about this design pattern, to system. And code is issue right now, of course, but it will be gone. Maybe one day, maybe 2 years, 5 years from now, it will be just complete AI. You will talk to that AI, same thing for AI generative for pictures. We can have AI generative for a smart contract as well. I mean, it's not really impossible. It's quite easy, really. It would be maybe easier than an image. So what today and with this session we are going to discuss is just the system. And of course, we will implement. And I've already made a couple of contracts and their packages, and we'll go through it. And of course, I need today your help for wallets. You know, we are going to create these wallets, and of course, you guys can you guys can decide that you will be part of this system, or you can just head to fund. So we will go. That would be fun experience. But one thing that we talked about was proxy contract. So we talk about the Oracle UTXO, which is a reference input, which is a UTXO that we do not spend. We just put information there and we pass it around so a smart contract can use it. But the idea of proxy contract. One thing that Sean is here, I hope, or he didn't, or he left. No, I'm sorry.
We'll send him the recording.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that he would stay, so I could tell him that, because he asked a question in the chat that how we can avoid immutability of a code. Like, you can, if you put some code on blockchain, you cannot change it forever. One approach that is being used inside inside Ethereum or other blockchain account, especially account model, is proxy contract, proxy patterns. We can implement it inside UTXO as well, and we are going to implement it. Although personally, I do not like it because we are violating the core concept of code is law, actually, because that law, if it is proxy, it can be changed and changed and changed and changed. So you cannot rely on that. And in name of verification, even you can verify it, but you cannot predict that how long that verification can long last. So, but we are going to implement it and we will see it. So I don't know. Let's go for some question if you guys have for this whole system, and then I go to little bit detail, and then we are going to fund wallets. First, the emperor, of course. We are the founding father, guys, and we need to, for now, we need to fund our treasury of this whole system. But before going through that, do you have question, guys, or any confusion? Of course, there are a lot of confusion, but Adrian, I saw that you unmute. Yeah, go ahead.
Is that repo somewhere available?
James, would you please give me a space in Gimbal Lab repository that I can post this, or at least push this code there?
Can I, so if I put it in the group for the PPBL course, does that sound okay?
I don't think so. Why? Because we are going to create another PPBL for the next iteration of the course.
All right, let me create a new group for...
Maybe we can, I don't know, we can call it governance or
yeah,
whatever.
okay.
I mean, it's up to you, but just if you can give. I didn't want to really push this to my own repository because I didn't like that idea. So anyway, thank you, Adrian, and I hope we will figure that out much sooner.
Yeah.
But the idea of the proxy contract is let's imagine that we saw that yesterday we talked about where we showcased the escrow contract. The escrow contract of Gimbal Labs GPT. So we have some cases here: cancel, update, distribute. And in front of it, we have some functions, some verification, some logic, business logic, and business rule, which business logic came from those business rules. But we can implement, and we are going to implement, an idea of a proxy contract by taking these logic out, putting it in another smart contract, and only here we will call or we will check the presence of that smart contract. That we will check that does this present in this smart contract or not. That's all. That and we are going to check that with the contract hash. So as I think is here, for example, this is the contract script hash, namely script hash, and we have already a function for that inside the script context. Here, if you get the TX out, which the TX out, the name is TX out, but actually you can get TX out of input too. So the naming is not really good. I guarantee you it will create confusion for you. So please feel free to ask. But the TX out has a constructor, namely field. Okay, if you go with the imperative style, let's call it method. Field is like it's, as I said before, violation of Haskell, but call it a method or field. TX out reference a script hash. We can check that this is a UTXO. Does this UTXO has this script hash or not? This is one way that we can check a smart contract exists inside a transaction or not. But another way is the address. As you guys know, a smart contract has an address too. As I said, it's like a wallet. There is not that much difference. The wallet has an address, a smart contract has an address as well. We can just check, does this address exist or not? So the difference is, if you want to check a UTXO that it exists inside the transaction, you have three options. You have these guys. This comes from the input that's going to be spent. This comes, as I said, reference input, and this is come for outputs. You can check these three, their addresses. But the thing is, in order an input and UTXO come to this list or to this list, to this second one, input output, it must get involved to that transaction. And it must come from a wallet or a smart contract. It must be verified and the signature must be provided and so on. So that UTXO is different than this UTXO, as I said it before. So, but we can implement some stuff that we can use to check those addresses for each of these. So I just wanted to point out these two UTXO are different. The UTXO that we put here and we put here is different. If you want to make sure that one contract exists inside the transaction and it is involved to that transaction, and by involved, I mean that it will handle a UTXO, spend it, destroy it, create, whatever. It gets involved into that. You need to put that UTXO here as an input. And your contract or that contract must check this list. But if you don't want to check that contract, do some stuff there, but if you want to check that contract or that UTXO exists, you can just check with this list. And we can, these two lists has their difference, their difference will come handy. So you will see that when we will use this guy and when we will use this guy. But in context of proxy contract, I recommend to use this guy. So the smart contract that the proxy contract is calling or is checking must get involved. I mean, they should do something. I mean, that's the idea. So if it is cancel, it is cancel action, it's a case of action here where we have cancel, and we have a cancel contract, which here we will call it, or we will check that it exists inside the transaction. Here we'll just check it by TX info inputs, because we want to check that that contract does something, you know, it does the cancellation. I just wanted to point out, because you are going to see this different UTXO might confuse, but just now think about these UTXO that you are going to see. It depends how we are going to use them inside a transaction. Are we going to spend them, destroy them, send somewhere, I don't know, send doing something to it, or we just want to put it there and use its data, namely datum, and not just the datum, everything inside that UTXO, like whatever ADA it is, like I don't know, token it is, we will use that inside a smart contract, and then we will go handling all these things. These are very fundamental for this system to work. And you're going to see that, of course, there will be some other stuff as well, but these concepts of understanding the UTXO and how they play that role inside this transaction will really define these guys. So again, if you guys have any question, please ask, and or I will continue. Okay, I don't see any hands. Okay. So I just want to point out one thing that I don't think we have time to talk about it, but it is really something that maybe we will here together, we will create it, and not only us, but even other blockchain can use it. And the idea of a script chain, which we talked about it yesterday. And the script chain is, as you thought that, as I showed you, here in this example, we will call another contract, or let's not call it call. We will check another smart contract exists here. But you don't have to be, actually, it's really interesting, and we will see it that you don't have to. But if you want to check it, it's fine, and we are going to see. But interestingly, the contract that depend on this contract. So there is another contract, maybe voting or something. In our analogy, we have Arena proxy and Gladiator smart contract. And as this arrow shows, its two sides are two-way arrows, because we are going to, this Arena proxy is going to check, does this Gladiator exist in the transaction? And this Gladiator will check that this Arena proxy is set by this redeemer or not, by this action. For example, in some Arena, the action should be canceled, the action should be updated, action should be distributed. And for each of them, we will have several contracts. This contract, this Gladiator will check that's actually the case. And the function for that is, I think I haven't copied the content from the, so let me show an example of that, which will check it inside the reference. This is a reference script as an example. And so here I'm checking that because in the access control, we need to create access control, or namely this guy as a government is going to assign this gatekeeper and other contract reference script, which we call it here Oracle UTXO, which content, its content is datum and the reference script hash. So these two concepts we are going to use, and we call it Oracle. And I mean, this Oracle name is very well known in other blockchain as well. So this is another proxy contract. So the Oracle contract is going to call or check or validate that the access control redeemer, this specific redeemer, was called. If it wasn't called, you cannot use this smart contract at all. And this access control here, I didn't check it because I didn't need it, but we will do it inside this. But I didn't check it in the project that I'm working. And that if this redeemer, this specific redeemer is getting called by this transaction, by these entities outside this transaction, this smart contract exists or not. So these two are interlinked with each other. This access control will check the existence and presence of a smart contract, and this smart contract will check the presence and existence of a redeemer of previous contract. And here we can see that in access control, there is an action called issue reference script. And inside it, we have just called, there is issue this for a domain reference, auto to P2P reference script, and nothing else. That's all. I'm just checking the admin, the app wallet, that pub key hash, everything regards to that is okay or not. That's all. And that's all. But here in issuance of the smart contract, instead of I put several cases inside this one pattern or one, I decided to create another contract. But in each different issuance of different contract, I will call same redeemer from access control contract. So it's like inside this guy, there are 4 different cases again, 4 different action within action, nested action. What's the limitation? We can just go beyond that. And we can just, for example, here we will, there will be another contract that will depend on the action, this specific action. And there will be another contract that will depend on the previous action. So the idea yesterday we introduced that maybe we can talk about it, and maybe that will be help us to go beyond pub key hash, a system that humanity must do something, and all this governance. Maybe we can really create that so-called decentralized autonomous, this autonomous thing that we can create, which humanity is not involved, because if human is involved in that, it means it is not autonomous. And by the way, by human, I'm not involved in the process. For example, there is an airplane. In the engine, there is no human. Of course, there is a human running that tools, and everything we build, every tools that we are building would be for us. But for the execution of an action, we don't need always a human should be there. And so the idea of a script chain, and as A was suggesting, we talked about that before, we can go with non-linear. So it's mesh of scripts, and they call each other. They will check each other. And if a governor, a regulator, SEC, whomever, try to attack one dApp and say, hey, you need to give us your treasury, or you need to do this, or you need to, the dApp says, sorry, I'm just part of a bigger entity. I'm just a block into a blockchain. How ridiculous can be a court will go look and sue at a specific block? You see, have you heard about, or I think really ridiculous that here, for example, you will see that, okay, there is a case, I think, okay, my network is not running the node. Let me run the node. So load is running. Okay. So you see that we have block. Let me zoom a little bit. So I just queried the Cardano Tesla blockchain. There is a block called this guy, and there is a hash to it. And there is a slot, everything, epoch, everything. I think maybe you guys know. It would be really ridiculous for a court or entity just say that, hey, block 668,726, come to the court and do like say something, or we are holding you accountable to do something, because inside your block there was some fishy stuff. How ridiculous it is. We can implement something like this with a smart contract as well. The smart contract can be just a block into the script chain on this block. So if the entity or whatever government, they want to attack it, they cannot attack it because that's just a part of a whole a system. And if they want to sue one dApp, they have to sue everyone. If they want to sue, or I don't know, like putting this accountable, they have to put a whole blockchain, which, for example, as you guys already know, that in the Bitcoin, it is impossible for them. That's why they are not looking for Bitcoin and every other crypto. They are trying to, they so-called regulated. So this idea of script and dApp chain and so on, it would be really, I think, crucial to the governance. Because if the governance, if even one dApp collapse or something happen, we can just fork from it. One dApp has a bad script or some bad reputation, Sunday swap or something, no problem. We will just fork. We will go from this dApp forward. We just leave this dApp7 orphan. It would be an orphan dApp, and the behavior of this dApp will put itself in the danger. And of course, entity or government can attack it because you made a bad choice. dApp7, that the whole other dApp, the chain, decided to put, to orphan you, to isolate you, and they fork through dApp6. So sorry, so somehow now it attached itself to dApp6. But this idea can be implemented by the idea of I don't know, the proxy contract, which, as we saw that the contract before or previous contract will check the presence of the next contract, and then the next contract will check the presence of even the previous contract, or we'll just check the redeemer, an action of the previous contract. But how do we tell this contract without hard coding stuff? That's what would be your next contract? Or for this contract, as a Gladiator, what would be your previous contract? We can go with this Oracle UTXO, Oracle NFT. Oracle UTXO, which consists of Oracle NFT, because the contract has must have a way to authenticate the UTXO. That's like, for example, here we are telling to the gatekeeper that okay, this guy, this pub key hash is your master, is the one that handling this arena, everything here. But how do we tell it? With this token, which this token stands for arena gatekeeper authentication token, which AGCAT. And by issuing this and telling to this smart contract, without hard coding into a smart contract, we can tell that, hey, this UTXO that you are seeing that has a pub key hash, that this guy, this master, is your master. So we, by use of authentication token, authorization token, identity token, identification token, with all this concept, we can tell to other contracts, other even transaction, that these guys are legit, and we can use it for same thing as saw you for the system that we are building. So for now, I need your help. Well, if you guys have questions, thank you, James, for putting this. So I'm going to push the code, this code, to this repository. You can see it on the chat, and we are going to post it on YouTube as well when we upload this photo.
Excellent.
In the description. You can check it out.
And hey, Mix, just to confirm, is it okay if this is a public repo?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You are the boss.
I made it
my
private
friend.
just before checking with you. I'm going to make it public
No,
right now.
it's first of all, we are going to. I don't know what will happen with SIP 1649, but maybe we will be the first individuals or first DAO or first organization, whatever you can call it, to actually
Wait, what's a
rewrite
DAO?
it. Well, I don't know even right now. It's a word that people can make money out of it. I can be
Got you.
sure
I follow
about that.
now. Okay, I got you. I got you.
So I can guarantee that this exists, but the everything about this system can be actually that miniature, that a small governance that maybe we can help even Cardano Foundation or IOG to implement, because we are going to see and test it. And for the fun of the system, and since we are going with the Gladiator and ancient Rome and so on, we are going to use those analogy and those mythology as well. That we are going to have Senate, Senator. I don't know, they had minister, but we'll change this name. I need your knowledge about the Roman Empire and the structure of their government. And of course, we have this Caesar, and what are the role of these guys? We will see. So right now, everything is public. We don't need to go, and I would really would enjoy that people will engage to this system. Of course, it is complicated, and for now, maybe, I don't know, I am alone in this, but I am sure, and I'm going to bring you guys, I'm sorry for this term, but I will drag you guys. After creating this because some of this smart contract is already, I've done it, and the code is ready. We will just check it and we start the Gladiator. So one of the good thing about the proxy contract is actually is these guys, these electoral, these people that is going to votes based on the different system that we will decide which system. And the Electoral Commission is going to check and verify the voting system. And then it will talk, or it will update an electoral UTXO, Oracle UTXO. And that UTXO, its datum, its content, everything inside that UTXO will decide the fate of whatever happening in the transaction, which will be this. At one transaction that the Arana proxy exists there, and there are these three Gladiator, which you guys, anyone will create it. And it will be like a task. It would be, I don't know, we will decide that how we go with this Gladiator. But the people, you guys, developers or technical, anyone. Because as I said again, as I heard, from now, 1 month from now, we will have Marlow. And Marlow can be for some people that don't want to go with Bluetooth or whatever coding, it would be just a GUI. It would be just drag and drop with blocks. You guys will create a Gladiator based on the logic, you think, based on the logic of the Arana, and based off the logic of your opponent. And then you can just represent your Gladiator in the Arana. You don't need, right now, of course, you need to Bluetooth. There are so many confusing functions, pattern, what the hell is this? If you just look at something like this guy. Like that, it doesn't make sense at all to any other language except Haskell, even Scala. And have you seen it? I mean, really, what the hell is this? It's this is a function that gets a redeemer based on the currency symbol, and it will return this. Like the return. This is the redeemer, which we call it again check it. And if it was called, then it will return true. And of course, only this will be checked if there is this pattern. You see that this is hard, and you are going to implement same thing, maybe, I mean, I haven't tested, in Marlowe as well, but with the block. We are just to drag and drop. I really recommend you guys, because I have this language is coming. I was one of the people in the first iteration of Marlowe Pioneer program. But I just stopped following them because it was around July, and now we are in July 2022. Now we are in 2023, and I think that people are saying 1 month from now. But when it comes, which will come as soon as I hope, you guys will implement this with Haskell, with Plutus, with Aiken, with I don't know, whatever language, with TypeScript, and then you guys are going to represent your Gladiator, and it will be inside the this transaction. This which I right now this maybe can include several stuff. I don't know. Can I just never mind. This will be one transaction, and inside that transaction, maybe even two, but if we'll decide one transaction, there will be some conditions, some stuff happening, and these smart contracts will fight with each other, will try to even disqualify each other with their hash and so on. And you guys will see it would be fun. And then inside proxy contract, there are UTXO. We send the UTXO, these voter, these people, that they are betting over the Gladiator, or they want to just, you know, treasury, give the rewards, whatever, will be sent to the address of proxy smart contract, and then this Gladiator will fight over the UTXO that exists inside proxy contract. So, for example, here in this an example, because I'm showing, by the way, this contract because the looks is more killing. You know, I don't write the killing contract, although the UTX Haskell Plutus force you to write killing, but I don't think this
that's
is
funny you say. No, that's a student-friendly starter contract, but you're taking
yeah, it's yeah, well, actually,
You're-
you know, everything's clear. It is in one line. You can see, okay, but, you know, it's good, and thankfully I started with this, and but I changed this beautiful writing to this monstrous abomination that you are seeing. At what the hell is this?
Wouldn't have it any
So,
other way. It's incredible.
so in this, there will be an action, fight, an action, a spent, an action, any action. RNA master is going to witness. The RNA master is going to decide on that. And there will be vote and so on. So where is this? Sorry. So that, and the gatekeeper job is to, I mean, the access control is going to tell to the gatekeeper who is the proxy contract, who is your RNA, and the access control mainly, aka government. I think, by the way, if you have better naming, because I'm not really expert in ancient Rome mythology or republic system in that time, but maybe we can call it republic. I don't know. But just really, if you have better terms, please help me on this. But right, I just call it access control. And we have the gatekeeper, like we have even gods, like Asian gods, like Jonas. I think Jonas was the gatekeeper, the god of gatekeeping. It has two faces. I remember it correctly. So I don't know, maybe Janus, the god of gatekeeper or something. Yeah, this guy, Janus. So maybe you can call it Janus contract or something. I don't know. Maybe we will decide it because we are going with this so-called Roman mythology and analogy. But yeah, okay. Minded the stack for some, of course, yeah, of course, James. But I didn't want that to go with so much technical name. Like instead of Oracle, make a reference a script issuer, or access control is better, or gatekeeper is better. But I didn't really want to go with very technical term. Although the proxy, I thought that proxy is better, or for example, electoral commission. I could call that this is a spending regulator contract and or other contract, like this is the minter for something, or it's a minting policy of something. But I just wanted to go with these terms that I hope in future we will see different smart contract written with different languages, but all of them comes to one transaction, and actually we will see the war of a smart contract programming. Like which one is better? Like, for example, we might say, what do you mean by that? We can put some condition inside the ARM proxy, or we can define it anywhere. We'll decide that. Like the size of contract must not be more than 10 kilobytes. Or the execution, CPU execution must not be more than this. Or the fee, everything that we have here, we can just create some condition. Like here, for example, the smart contract, like maybe I haven't tested this, but it's just the idea that the smart contract must be staked to a pool. Then it can come to this transaction and do this stuff. So we can just check it with TX info DCL. I think, and just check. Cassandra for which contract? A. For which one? For access control or for gatekeeper? For which entity here? Oracle. Okay, but let me put this here as a Cassandra. But I wonder that because we didn't have Oracle maker in Asia. We had that Oracle that she was living in Delphi, Mount of Delphi, and she was challenging Apollo, if I remember this story correctly. But yeah, there wasn't maker for Oracle, but I don't know who made her. But it's, I don't know, we can call it the Temple of Oracle or something. Also, I need another name for this guy, that with Senate, which consists of senators, PubKey hash. I called this Guardian consult before. I am still using this analogy in our project, but there are right now 7 senators. We can go with more, less. And they will use a Senate contract to assign, and right now, remember this word, admin for the access control, but I didn't find better name for that admin. I didn't want, like here is this is guy at Arna master package is just admin as well, which we will define it with app wallet future with, we can just a pop cache. But minister, I don't remember that they had minister, prime minister, whatever, but names are cool, but it's useful to keep the descriptive in there. Not everyone is history. Yeah, of course, Z. And it's just for putting, I couldn't put so much information here. Maybe we could, maybe sure you guys can help with explanation of this stuff. This is, you don't want me to do everything, not because I'm lazy or something, because I will create something that's me, I will understand that, and maybe the people that I feel think in my small brain. That's all. And that inclusion will left alone many people, and it will put people, other people in a bad favor, that they cannot understand what I wrote. Of course, if I write something, I understand, some people understand, but I don't want some people understand. I want as much as people understand, because we are going to ask people. And by the way, you guys are going to be, I mean, at least for this system, I'm going to ask you to share a pub hash for me. And actually, if you guys can share right now, or I mean, let me ask you this for now. If James, anyone, please answer that.
You're
For now,
talking pre-prod here?
yeah, pre-prod, yeah, pre-prod.
All right.
For now, should I go with the pub cache? Like, we have the script already, and that in the create wallet, but I need wallets, and some of them should have fun, TA testnet. Some of them we don't need, just the pub cache, at least for now. And of course, there should be a treasury. And I have collateral debugger, which actually I'm using with other project, but I going to check, maybe remove it. But as you guys know, this facet, this other facet website is limited. I can go with it, and I can find a way to fund these wallets, but I need your help. So these two, let's decide right now. Should I create a wallet? Then I will share with you pub key hashes, and then you will try to fund it. Or you guys will create, or you guys will give me a pub key hash of a wallet that has some TADA, and I'm going to use it in this project. Which one, guys? And this website, it is this. I mean, maybe some of you doesn't know. This is the facet for ADA. Okay, so James, what do you think? Should we go with the creation of that wallet? Actually, we can see it. I mean, okay, we passed some time, but
what's the what's the minimum number of people to make this illustrative?
Okay, let's count it. Where is it? So we need a 7 senator. Who's going to be senator? Again, if you guys, but we can go with a smaller, but I just went with 7, so it can be as more as possible. But we need senators. We need a minister. We need Caesar. We need RNM master. That's all for now. So 1, 2, 3, and 10 pub cache.
Cool.
If but by the way, these guys, this senator, maybe their role would be one time, because their job is to assign minister. That's all. That's the thing. And then there is this Caesar, and the Caesar is its job is to destroy the government. What's the point of a dictatorship if he is not the boogeyman of a government, you know? So this master also be the witness of transaction happening here. Now, of course, there will be some pub key hash, but we don't need to right now for electoral commission. Sure, maybe we will need electoral commission or governor here, who is the responsible. But at least for now, I want to start this other smart contract. Everything here should be ready. Then I hope in the next session, we'll talk, and of course, maybe it would be very philosophical question, and there will be a long discussion about what voting system should we implement, and then how do we implement it through this? Like if the Gladiator smart card 1 was winner, if the electoral college or the people's didn't agree with it, and we'll just, even we can just create an error like here. It would be really nice error that people has spoken. You are not qualified. Go away. So your transaction will fail and say people have spoken and you are not the favored people. So, and if you remember that Caesar was thumbs up, I think Nero. It was there was some action. Yeah, this guy. Yeah. So this action was kind of, we can implement it that the Caesar will decide also that the gladiator, who was defeated, will like continue to the next transaction or next fight or not. And how do we do that? It would be really fun, and sure we'll use some updating of ETXO. Some of them are Oracle, some of them are not. So that's a whole system. But yeah, this guy, we can give this role to the Caesar as well to play a role into Arena, like we can invite it. But I hope, as I said it before in 2 weeks ago, we will implement something that I call Joker contract or factor of chaos that will, it's the entity, maybe PopCash, maybe a smart contract that will threaten Caesar power. So I haven't implement. I haven't decided because there are a lot of things we have to implement. I don't want to go with the chaos that how we can disrupt the system and challenge the challenger and bring this Caesar to fight. Even we can create this arena as we saw in Gladiator movie that we can make a transaction inside the arena that Caesar will fight over its role. For example, the Caesar PopCash, Caesar is like PopCash. It would be UTXO, same as this token, and it would be called Caesar token. Who has this token? He is the emperor. She is the queen, and there will be a fight over it. So yeah, these things will happen, and right now I need some PopCashes or at least a decision. At what decision should we go?
Just zooming out, Mix, this is thrilling, and this concept for bringing this to the course, kind of like having some students share a PKH and then have this kind of interactive lecture. Let's figure out how to make this as accessible as possible. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should we put it on hold until?
Well, I mean, right now we could. I don't know how long people can stay for right now, but certainly I'm thinking ahead to like how we can orchestrate this experience, for students in the course and then for a live coding session.
Sure.
Yeah, really good.
We can. Of course, this should become more mature and more robust. There are some loophole. Of course, you guys. I hope you guys will find it. The technical guy like you, James, Adrian, will find a technical loophole, a technical issue or something. But someone like Steve or Juan, Roberto, even everyone, like a normal people, he showed up just this one session and he say, wait a minute, I see some loophole into your whatever system name is designing, that if I have this with this condition, I can actually bypass some of the restriction. Yeah, that's really great and really, really want that happen. That would be really my end goal, engagement of people, that they will come to this system, not writing Plutus, but the system itself will be the one that they will test it and try to validate it. So I think I think we need to wrap this session of. We passed the 1 hour 30 minutes, and we didn't. Don't know. We didn't go with so much coding here. I'm going to. I mean, I have created some folders, which each of them has some, of course, some essential stuff like contract, compiler, data type, and toJSON. And toJSON is going to create datum and redeemer, appropriate datum and redeemer for interacting with this stuff. And this is essential, and we'll go through it. And this is normally same thing. But even this structure of folders can be questioned. If it is bad, it's good, should we go with better? But right now, the governance, I have this folder because I'm going to push this code. There won't be that much code inside this, at least for now, but you're going to see these folders. You might wonder what the hell is. The governance is the one that we are going to control this system, the whole system of, not this guy, sorry, not this one as well. Where was this? Here. The governance is going to be the Senate, government, of course, gatekeepers, and these guys will be inside the governance folder, and of course the Oracle Maker or Cassandra, as I suggested. And then there is another folder, voting system. Right now is Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission is going to, at least for now, I have some role for it, like updating the voting Oracle, like that we will tell to the arena what was the voting result. And then you might say, wait a minute, what would be the sequence between these stuff? Like if it cannot, like they should vote before the transaction or after, we will decide on that, and it's okay. Don't worry, we will implement it. And then there is this tug of war, which will be, as I said before, but it's still again it's open for decision that which system. Maybe we can go with the big guy with SIP 1649 and implement that. I haven't thought about implementing this because I thought that there was this staking guys there, which they're staking their capital is like their amount of ADA has effect to voting. So I wonder that how we can implement this into a smart contract. I didn't think about it that much, but I can go to think about it and then sure.
So that's actually, that work is still ahead, defining exactly like what voting methodology is.
Yeah,
specifically implemented there.
Still, we haven't decided. People, I mean, the simplest case I can suggest is tug of war. Tug of war. Yeah, let me show again for those who don't know what the hell is this. Tug of war is this. Tug of war, not tug. Sorry. This is like, you know, rope pulling or something like this. So it would be yes vote, and there will be yes vote. There will be there will be vote, not yes and no. When you mint a token, it means yes. If you burn the token, it means no. No, and there is a threshold. As you guys remember in this game, there is a line. There is a line at the middle, and if the team, this opposite team, pass that line, they fail. So we can implement this threshold and minting, and of course, someone say, okay, what about the no one vote? So the no one vote means everyone agree with the proposal, or of course they disagree. I mean, they agree to disagree. So we go for that. That would be, as in my understanding, the simplest case we can implement it. And then, of course, there will be other system which will have vote, yes vote, no vote, and especially with this guy, we will have a system of different tokens, party list proportional representation, who are the representation, and we will have party, who's the party leader. Normally, party leader is the guy represent the party. But sure, we have the 2-round system as well. We will implement it. But right now, what we have is token, minting contract, a spending contract to read datum and so on, and pubkey hashes. With these 3 tools, at least what I think, I don't know how we can implement a staking into this. Maybe we can think about it. We can implement these system, but about this, I'm not sure. But we will decide on that. But so yeah, we will decide on that, which system, but we can start with the simplest one, then we can go. So because for now, I want this system, this government, all the pubkey hash, everything. Be ready, this arena, be ready. There will be some test gladiator, dummy gladiator. We will put some dummy there, so gladiator will fight with them, to practice with wooden sword and so on. But these things will be, I hope when we're ready, then we will talk about the elephant in the room, this, who is going to decide and how that vote, whatever voting system is, affect the system. For now, this is a complete dictatorship government. It's Roman Empire, Roman Republic. There is a Senate. And sure, maybe we will implement the historic event that a senator, all of them will have a sharp UTXO. And by agreeing with that sharp UTXO, they will start an action inside the Senate or inside the access control government, and that will kill the Caesar. Same thing happened for the poor guy. You can, so that actually it would be not much hard to implement to that thing. But yeah, for now, I hope this, and I'm going to create, at least for now, the pubkey hashes. I didn't see that much suggestion for participation, so okay. But yeah, sharp UTXO, yeah. A knife can be valuable, and we are talking about value and transfer of value. What a weapon is valuable as well, and the weapon, its value depends on the time. It's the time of peace is different. The time of war is different. We have a blockchain, a system for transferring value. What if we can weaponize a UTXO? Yeah, take care, Z. What if we can weaponize a UTXO and use it? And we have already an attack of dust. Like, let me show you this. Well, there is a repo in certification working group. I was working with, and that in that certification working group, there is a repo for certification group, sorry, and there is an issue there, a pull request, I think, or issue, I forgot it. And then inside that, there is this vulnerability checklist, which I hope we will talk about it. It's very important for anyone, developers, a student, whoever, to work to know about the things happening with vulnerabilities. So common vulnerabilities. One of the vulnerabilities that I think it was coming from MLab. Where is the MLab one here? They talk about dust attack, dust UTXO. But by the way, we have this attack we will try to implement. We will try to attack our system, because like EUTXO concurrency DDoS. And for you, the guys doesn't know about DDoS. DDoS is denial of system. So you will send so many UTXO at the same time to a transaction that will, it will fail because the contract couldn't handle it. Or the contract, if in order to calculate that transaction, it has to pass that hard limit, but it's a hard limit, it cannot pass. So it would be impossible to validate. So there is one good UTXO, let me draw that. By the way, James, if we can stop recording. This is off topic. I don't know. It's not related to a smart contract Gladiator, but it would be interesting. So for you guys who wants to know about this vulnerability system, first check out the Gimbal Apps project-based learning. We are going to talk about all these vulnerabilities with session module 300. Don't worry. And then check out this link, which I'm going to share as well for you guys if you want to read about it. And the next thing that sure drop by in the smart contract Gladiator, and we will go with this detailed stuff. But for now, thank you. Have a great time, and we will implement great things together. Don't worry. So yeah, thank you, everyone. So
Thank you, Professor. See you next time.
see you guys.